around his team, now going to catch that bottom wave, but with super minions pushing in, it won't take too much help to shove that one forward. BDS trying to defend. Adam joins up. You have a small window here before Broken Blade can join his team. That TP channel, a possibility to find a 5v4, but G2 won't let you have it. They just go back, they retreat through the jungle, they make sure they have the vision control, and they set up in the mid lane.
And that's a low-risk macro G2 are opting into. You know, when they don't have those TP even situations, they won't over-push themselves. You know, they could have had a mid-wave pushed in there and then rotated into it, but they don't want to risk splitting up. Caps doesn't have his realm warp yet, so if he was the one going for like a 3-1-1, then they could get collapsed on. Maybe they would lose a few summoners. Not optimal. Don't really need to do that. You can get that mid-tier 2 a little bit later on when you have better lane assignments, a little bit of a more established map where people can collapse easier on G2's side. But I think what they're waiting for now is the next Baron. There's nothing really to overforce. Wait for Nash to spawn, get vision towards the top side, everyone reset, get your spike, get some control wards, and then just control that top side. And we'll see how BDS deal with it. There's only one blue orb. They have no real other spells to check, and they're quite short range. So when it comes to walking up, Mickey will be lying in wait with a hook, I have to imagine.
You can see BDS's vision line basically at the entrances of their own jungle, nowhere near the Baron. Mickey will step forward with the sweeper, make sure that there aren't any elusive wards set up around here. Now he can just back away and join with his team. Backs, resets, gets his wards back stocked up by a couple of control wards here. I know Ellis probably would be a little bit angry at that, you know.
No, it's only when it comes to item spikes that you get a little bit upset, you know, when carry spawns like
we only
Twitch.
bought one though, so
Giga Chad Mickey.
Yeah, saving that 75 gold for next game.
He's gonna put it in a stock, invested. Double his money. Caps needs to be careful here. Has a ward on Krug, so I think he just saw Shio move into that bush. LeBron won't spot it, will he? With that sweeper, so BDS a little bit unaware that they're on vision. Yike's gonna push his way in. And I think Mickey's now returned with those wards in pink. Nash spawning in 40, place those all down, push in the mid-wave, look for a tier 2 after Caps is pushed out top. And then I think G2 can turn towards this Baron. And the beauty of Rise is you can just realm warp the team. You know, you can push all the way to the inhibitor tower, push in the wave, turn around, Rise ult to Nash, and by the time you finish it, BDS are nowhere near.
That's why BDS have to find a way to pull the trigger. G2, it's patient play. You take a couple of minutes, you make sure there's no vision anywhere near the Baron, no TP wards, no possibility of BDS finding a flank, and they've done exactly that. Caps has now come back out onto the rift. 10 stacks on his Dark Seal. Would love to see a Medjai's, but I doubt the game will last long
Old
enough.
Caps would.
Yeah, old Caps would have got Medjai's second
Caps
item,
and MSI would. Always went for that Medjai's. Yep. So BDS trying to get some vision. Lebrov has 3 wards left.
But how do you do it, man? Like, Lebrov has 3 wards. You're also face-checking into a sapling every single time. And as much as it's tank Maokai, it's still demonic embrace tank Maokai. Like, it's so difficult to do. Now, Sheo is going to face-check. Lebrov, once again, the one who's took the color coming out as well. As BDS try and make their final stand. Blast cone out. Double root from Nuke. Hansama now stepping forward. The hook once again lands onto Nuke. Adam trying to get away from Broken Blade and Caps, but he just can't escape. Stops time for a second, but all that will give him is a perfect view of his death as he falls to Caps. Crowny now trying to escape the Aqua Prison just short. Yike on the flank, twist in advance into the knockback. Caps gets a double, the knob into the wall, a triple for Caps. And G2 once again just clean up in the top lane.
And that's the inevitability of setup versus short range. Mickey just has to wait for one person to walk up. Eventually BDS have to check. Hook lands, the fight kicks off, and I think BDS kind of got a little bit lucky there. Adam's stun stopped Caps' ult where he would have chased them even further and got a couple more kills. So G2 take the triple onto Caps, will take the Baron. Then they'll base and start setting up to look for the end. But it's just so hard for BDS playing a comp, as Yankos said in draft, that wants to go forwards, is having to run backwards. There's no real way for them to find any direction in these fights.
Pretty much impossible for them with G2 playing as well as they are, and Caps as well. Has had a quiet split so far. Has had a couple of games where he's looked good, but I don't think Claps has really been on the menu. This game, it's a return to form for Caps. Obviously, getting kills in the early game helps you get towards that position. Just as an important note, once again, both these teams are already locked into playoffs. G2, though, could tie Team Vitality at the top of the standings. Vitality play later on today, and getting that 1-2 seed makes it a lot easier for you as you go through our group stage.
It does indeed, but here we are. G2 are at and BDS tied there. Of course, one of these teams, likely G2 will push themselves up, like you said, and if Vitality lose today, then there is a tie for first, but they have to see how Vitality do. So here's the hook onto Lebrov. He actually lives by flashing out to the side here, but the fight's already started. Adam's TP'd in, the rest of G2 around, hook hits Nuke, and then here Adam will jump over the wall. It could have got even worse here for BDS. After the stopwatch, you can see Cap trying to preemptively ult, thinking that he's already dead, but it gets stopped, so he can't actually get onto the stylize, and Lebrov trying to help Crowny here. Ends up falling to Caps. One spell, he's just so far ahead. Just the W coming out. And now the siege will begin. BDS not really finding any way to start running at G2. They can't get past the front line in the first place. They haven't found any flanks. They haven't really found any TP wards either. Haven't used those globals in a long, long time, but you can see BDS are going all in now. Elixir of Wrath picked up for Crowny, Baby Last Whisper, give him red buff, and I think the call is justified, but that's a level 18 rise. Gonna be a bit scary. With a Medge Eyes, he actually has gone for it. It's gonna be a bit scary to dash in.
It's going to be pretty impossible. You have to feel for BDS. Now, 2 lanes of pressure. Once again, the 1-4 Broken Blade off towards the side lane. Trying to deal with Nuke right now. Crowny pops the culling down, but you can see it only tickles Mickey now. More like feathers on his back than any sort of lethal shot. And as much as BDS can try and hold on to this one, you have to feel it's all done, but the Nexus falling. Broken Blade and Caps down towards this bottom side. Realm Warp a possibility for them if they want to join up with their team very quickly. Of course, they can just run across 2 inhibitors now open.
Yep.
And that's the push, you know? That's all you need to do is G2.
They're
not explosive, but all you have to do is slowly chip away at them, as you say.
4 cannons buffed up are just going to sit there, so I think G2 are just going to keep them buffed up and let them do the look at the damage it's doing. Here comes a 5th cannon as well, just blowing through this tower. G2 don't even need to hit it.
Yeah, Rufus and hits onto Nuke there. The stopwatch going to try and delay the inevitable. Nature's Grass coming out as well, and Nuke has already fallen. G2 let the cannons do the work and chase onto the fountain. Yike will take the second Nexus tower. G2 toying with BDS a little bit here as they close this one out. Another hook from Mickey, tanks the fountain for a second. Adam going in, but a flash away from Hans Summer will keep on rush. Caps in for the dive, but the Nexus falls.
Who hit the Nexus? Who was it that ended? Caps was calling for the fountain dive there. Must have been either Hans or Broken Blade that went for the end. Caps can't pad the stats, but yeah. BDS looked good for the first 5 to 10 minutes. A lot of action around the bot side. Crowny was 4-0 at one point. Really big lead on that bot side, but they threw it all away towards that that invade towards the red buff. It gave kills over to Caps, gave him a big shutdown. Nuke lost mid push, and without mid push, they couldn't really contest bot side anymore. And then, you know, Yike just kept revisiting and revisiting, trying to force plays, catch them off guard, bring Caps to make sure he's hovering in case Shio is around. But good early game from BDS.
Yeah, solid. Just need to be able to translate that into the mid game. Obviously, a difficult team to do it against. BDS still have Vitality and Heretics on the menu for this week, and it's not going to be an easy closeout for them. I'm sure they're pretty glad that they're already locked into our top 8. G2 still toying with the possibility of taking first. You can vote for one of them in your player of the game at LEC on Twitter. Yike, Caps, and Hans Summer are your options.
Yeah,
I mean,
Caps had a
the
great game.
guy in the middle was good, right? Like Caps was, it was pretty solid this game.
And Jankos talks about it in draft how BDS, as much as they might get leads through bots, they really want to play through mid to help the the Sylas Sejuani set up onto Caps, no cleanse, look for something. He never fell short of a gank, he never died to anything. He was always ready on the moves first with the Realm Warp, and after he got that shutdown, he ran away with the mid lane. So yeah, great game from him.
Always good to see Caps in form. It's one of those players that for so long was the pinnacle of mid lane in Europe, has been challenged over the last couple of years. I think Larson definitely put a good name for himself last year. Caps once again returning to his former self.
Definitely has. Caps and claps and craps, 3 versions of himself. Depends on the day,
Are we Caps with a capital P still, or has that one gone away as well? Because it was Caps with a capital P. It was capital P for a while last year. Did he change it back?
Yeah, I can't remember the reason. It was something to do with performance.
He had to earn the capital C, didn't he? So he had the capital P, and he said, "I have to earn the capital C."
Oh, so he thinks he's earned it, does he?
Yeah, I think it seems like it. Seems like it. I do see Trouble standing by with Broken Blade, just getting ready for an interview. So we'll go over to him in a moment. We can learn about the joys that is Nara into Jax in the top lane. Truly a matchup for the ages, and he is ready for us. So over to you, Trouble, with Broken Blade.
Trouble.
You know what? I literally just asked him, is it fun playing Nara into Jax? And he says, I literally just first time did.
Azir is also quite a high prio champion, but we don't see him often in the 1-2-3. So we'll see what both these teams want to look for, but this is almost like a must-win here for Fnatic.
That bad makes you quite sad, doesn't it, that one?
No, I like Elise, yeah. It's quite sad.
Any specific reason you like Elise?
No.
It's just as general? It's just a fun early game ganking jungler.
She's great at diving.
Yes, she really is.
Ashe ban to deny the Ashe support. So we'll see what the last ban here is for Mad Lion. They've already targeted 2 junglers. Sejuani and Vi are kind of like the last two you think of next to Wukong. Are they really first pick worthy? You know, if Zeri's up, Vi is actually a fantastic first pick, and you take Varus, right? But I think Fnatic will take a Varus first pick any day of the week. Reckless seems to be his most comfortable champion is Varus.
Yeah, he's played it 3 times so far this split. Has only won one of those 3 games. That's sometimes struggle, the Sivir being removed, and you say Fnatic likely to go towards the Varus. Definitely a possibility for them here. But you always can discuss the rest of the draft as well. If you get Varus on the side of Fnatic, Mad Lions could go Vi Zeri if they want. Go like Zeri Lulu down towards that bottom side. Yep. Then you see Fnatic pick up the Sejuani.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot that Yuumi exists.
Oh, okay. We're going to have to put up with a cat this game. And they're going to take away Zeri. So you can see Mad Lions' draft plan. We ban Sivir. You first pick Yuumi. We'll take away Zeri. So they're probably going to have to go for some kind of Ezreal here. Unless they want to play Lucian Yuumi, which sometimes the LPL does. But I don't really see it. But yeah, Vi pick here would be great. I think you can take away the drafts, really. I think your draft expertise is actually pretty good.
I mean, it's not that difficult. You just go through like the list of...
Oh, you're saying being a colorcaster is just easy?
No, I'm saying right now, draft is super easy. Well, Sejuani instead of the Vi, but now Fnatic probably going to go for the Vi pick here.
Okay,
so you can lock down the Zeri later on. You could go Wukong as well, but I think Zeri provides a little bit too much safety against the Wukong. But Wukong Yuumi is a nice combination.
What AD carry are you thinking then?
I still think... I mean... Because it's Reckless, it's probably going to be Ezreal.
Yep.
You can go for something like the Lucian that you talked about. Alongside that, there's not really too many like S-tier Lulu, Yuumi AD carries left available for him.
True.
You really want to pick Sylas here? Okay.
Yeah, Sylas just instantly picked up here.
Oh, Humanoid putting the flex on as well.
Did he? Was that him with the biceps?
He flexed over Niski.
He's been lifting.
It's a bit of a challenge.
Saying he could bench him once he's locked in. I mean, Sylas is doing a bit of like a muscle tensing kind of.
Yeah, but all male champions since like 2018 are doing like full muscle things. Like,
yeah.
It's the reason we both go to the gym. We just want to do our Yone Yasuo cosplay together, Mark. You know.
I think we could pull it off. Yeah. I just need a lot longer hair. Yes. Wear a wig, I suppose.
You could wear a wig, and we also need, you know, the abs.
Yeah, we need. I've only got a 6-pack of beer, really. That's the only 6-pack I have. Anyway, so K'Sante might get picked up here. I think the reason they took away the Sylas here is because Sejuani Sylas, it's really powerful. We saw BDS play it last game, but I think it's a bit of a no-brainer for Mad Lions to say, okay, we'll just go Lulu then, and just pick up our best support. So then Fnatic can now target mid lane. Mad Lions can then target bot side. Actually, Twitch is something we overlooked.
Yeah.
I just think back to Reckless at Worlds with Twitch oftentimes.
Flashing forward.
Yeah,
that was a moment.
Yeah, no, I feel like Reckless in days past had actually a pretty big champion pool.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like now it's kind of like limited down to, I mean, we see things like the Varus, but I don't really see Reckless more recently as like a Kalista Lucian player or a huge Zeri player. I do know he played a little bit of Zeri in K-Corp, but lane dominance has kind of shifted away from him.
I think he's always had a few champions that he gravitates towards, like the Kennen Tristana in the olden days, Sivir as well, but he could play everything. Recently, we've seen him much more reliant on those singular carries that he is used to. With the Ezreal being banned away, Mad Lions agreeing with our take that perhaps the Yuumi could be teamed up with that. Ryze and Jax now taken out of the pool.
They could just go Renekton here, really.
Yeah, safe top lane. Renekton, Sejuani, very powerful together.
Just depends if Niski wants to flex it. Akali could be something they look into as well. Any mealy mid would be good. We saw a Yone hover earlier on, but I'm not sure if we'll see that. Jace is another one that could work really well here as a flex. Any kind of mid lane that does well into Sylas, bruisery / melee that can be flexed. Yeah, Renekton's an easy one.
See, and you say I should do the draft, and once again you predict something not totally left field, but something
I think that was something you would have thought of. Though.
I mean, maybe, but it would have taken me like 10 minutes and like a Venn diagram of all the different champions to get to that point.
Yeah, no, Renekton. I think Gragas here for Wunder would be a bit of an easy one. Yeah. It's his bread and butter pick into the Renekton. And then what AD carry do you go for? I'm a bit confused here for Reckless. Ezreal Twitch is down, Sivir's down, Zeri's gone. Is it a Vayne game?
I don't think it's a Vayne game into Sejuani Zeri, my dude.
Is it a Vayne game?
I know that feels like a game that
Sejuani Renekton? Yeah. You know, just bang out a cheeky Vayne.
Varus is still up, and as much as Varus isn't the best with Yuumi, on-hit Varus does still benefit a little bit from Yuumi.
I just think it's not going to... I don't know, I'm not sold on Varus Yuumi.
I agree. I'm very not sold on Vayne, though, so it's like this mixture of Kennen AD carry.
Kennen AD carry. A little bit of AP.
Where are you going, Reckless?
Xayah.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. They
gives you some safety as well.
Yeah, they have a little bit of dive. The lane will not be great.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun.
But yeah, it makes sense for all team fights. And now Niski can just sees the whole comp. He can decide what he wants to go for. Anything like, you know, any kind of melee mid here would be a bit difficult into Gragas, especially. A mage would be good. They could self-peel. More shields for the Zeri. Yeah, I think Orianna makes sense. Cassio is also a really good pick. 3 melee champs that are diving in with the Yumi on top of them.
Yeah.
You're appealing for your Zeri. Sai is not the longest range either, just need to be careful of overcommitting. So Mad Lions has come very well-rounded meta style. Fnatic's comp is very, it's just a lot of answers. Gragas into Renekton, Sylas into Sejuani, making sure that he can take away that ult, look for engages, skirmish heavy.
That's often a struggle, though, when we see a team reaching for answers in draft rather than having a cohesive strategy going in. Often you see a draft that looks similar to this Fnatic one where, yes, individually the lanes look okay, or even in team fights maybe the AD carry's okay into what's happening, but cohesively you don't really fit together as a unit.
Yeah, I think if the fights are quite messy, Fnatic would love that. But in a straight front to back, I wonder how they're going to dissect the fight.
Yeah, how do you get onto the Zeri?
Yeah, they need Humanoid to take away Sejuani, will take away Lulu, will look for flanks, maybe a Wunder ult to disrupt their front to back. Because I feel like even though Renekton will struggle in the front to back, the Sejuani Zeri Cassio is just so one-dimensional in how they want to play fights that, yeah, Fnatic need to find different angles here.
Obviously, Mad Lions already locked into our top 8. Fnatic still on the outside looking in, currently sitting at 2 wins. Fnatic have never missed the playoffs. Obviously, it used to be top 6 as well, and now top 8 for them to miss it would be a massive fall from grace for the squad, but still 3 games for them to rectify that. If they win all 3, they are in. 5 wins locks you into that top 8. I think even 4 wins now can get you there. Let's see if Fnatic can do it today as they take on the Mad Lions. If you were to make a cheer at the start of games, you don't have to pick a specific team. If, say there was a K-Draw team,
Okay.
what would your cheer be?
You're nothing special, we lose every week. That would be my cheer.
Yeah, I think it's a good one, man. It's a good one.
Yeah. What would your cheer be?
I think something to the tune of Claire de Lune.
Elaborate.
I can't sing. But football, like good football chants are like these complicated interwoven narratives.
Oh, really?
Told to like classical songs.
Okay.
And so I think I would have something along.
So you're telling me that,
lines.
all these football fans that are chanting all these things are just based?
Yeah, they're very based. Like,
Okay.
you have to have historical accuracy.
Yep.
Often involves insulting some of the players in some way,
Yep.
of the opposite team.
Okay.
They're also a bunch of yobbos, English football fans, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well,
Just prepping for MSI, I'm getting my English lingo.
I just respect the fact they have songs for everything.
Yes.
Like, literally every country, every player, everything. They have songs for it. They just rip off some kind of pop song and then just redo the lyrics to fit the beat. And away they go. Ward from Niski. Just going to spot out Razork on his wrap to start.
Humanoid, I think, gets 5 gold from that ward as well. He's pinged it out. Niski will trade onto Humanoid here. It's going to be difficult for Humanoid in the lane. Cassio's extra range. You can see Niski already using the Twin Fangs, getting mana back as he kills minions from it as well. Humanoid can dash forward, but it's a struggle bus for the Sylas, especially in the first few levels.
Yep. Second wind, Doran shield, tank the damage. And every time, of course, Niski uses a spell.
Not actually running
no,
second
actually
wind.
running second
He's
wind.
going conditioning overgrowth, I think.
Okay. I mean, the conditioning makes sense.
Yeah.
But you can see every time Niski uses his E onto Humanoid, the creeps then pull aggro onto the Cassio, so the wave kind of pushes into him. So Humanoid will sometimes walk up on purpose, like he did earlier on, to make it so Niski hits him, to allow the wave to push in. And Niski won't hit him, because he wants to slow the push, if that makes sense. So sometimes a little bit of a mind game, and sometimes not even worth trading.
Juggling minion aggro, especially in top and mid lane, can be really important. Mid lane a little bit less punished for it, very hard to freeze the wave there, but top lane, those minion dynamics, minion mechanics can be vital to understanding how to hold your opponent at bay. Wonder's doing exactly that as the wave is going to sit here just outside his tower for a little bit, although that first minion dying means it will slowly push back towards chasing.
Kragas is really strong to just carry that barrel around everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah, you know it's got...
Doesn't even swap arms.
Gets the stun.
Little chunk.
Niski's like, cool. Thanks, mate. Twin Fangs
Ghost.
ghosting forward, not just fast as well. Humanoid trying to get in. Razork has to flash away. Alioya across the wall keeps Humanoid as bay as well. Spectral Maw hits once again. Razork trying to fight back against Alioya here. Now, Alioya does have the flash, but he's kind of locked in place. Niski stepping forward.
What is going on?
Humanoid able to get back in. Niski's still alive. Razork takes him, trying to get the reset possession, but cannot get the reset. A double for Niski.
Poison ticks through. Wow, Fnatic were so hesitant to take that fight. Hilly?
Whoa, there's a Hilly Flash, Polymorph, and splat that cat!
Massive 2v2 kill there for Mad Lions. Kill over to Hilly. Instantly punishes Rux the second he's not on top of Reckless. Lane already going in their favor. Mid lane's going in their favor. Top lane's just a lane to go even in draft. So Mad Lions already off to a great start. 1,500 gold lead.
That's the most Hilly thing I think I've seen this
great.
week, because last week he flash polymorphed someone as well.
And did nothing. And left and refused to elaborate.
I mean, that's probably the most Hilly thing I've ever seen. But it, like, Kazi's running Cull in that lane, and I'm sure Rux is like, okay, guys, like it's a bit of a farm lane. Maybe we can get some damage down. Humanoid now looking up towards the top side. You're chasing. You guys know which side of the map is yours.
What is going on?
Look down, doesn't have the flash, but you can't get away from the Ruthless Predator. Wonder and Humanoid on the chase. Niski trying to push in your mid wave.
I feel like chasing it can turn this. They're playing Renix and Sejuani. I don't think Humanoid wants this fight. It's a mess. The whole map's just a mess. Razork's already really far behind. This is great early game from Mad Lions. Elyoya just punishing in the 2v2. Niski punishing Razork to try and stun him. Makes it so he gets his flash. And then